Welcome to Horror Homework, where we deep dive into these iconic horror franchises and go over them scene by scene, as well as do a little bit of homework on the behind the scenes to show our appreciation of these historic franchises. We may also do some solo movies along the way in between. I am half of this show, the man who would fight a chainsaw maniac with another chainsaw for some reason instead of a gun, Slasher Scotty. And with me is the person most likely to be shouting,
"Hey, lick my plate, you dog dick!"
terrifying Tasha.
Yep, and welcome back to the show. Just want to state, first of all, spoiler warning for any of the movies we're going to review. We will be going through them scene by scene, so if you don't want spoilers, click away now. Before we get into that, do you have any extra credit from last show's movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first?
Why, yes, I do. Did you know that Gunnar Hansen was not the first person to be considered for Leatherface?
Oh, really? They actually had somebody else lined up first?
Yeah, they cast another actor and he got plastered and like barricaded himself into a hotel room and they couldn't get him out of the hotel room. He just wanted to stay in there, I guess, and drink. So as a favor to Toby Hooper, Gunnar was like, "Okay, I guess I'll play your movie monster," and then that's how we got Gunnar Hansen.
So the chainsaws had to perfectly align for Gunnar Hansen to be our Leatherface. Sometimes that's just how it works out. All right, so before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, first we watched a movie on Tubi.
On Tubi. That's right. In case you don't know, Tubi is a free streaming app where you can watch movies and shows at no cost. Some of these movies and shows are gold nuggets, and some of these movies and shows are turd nuggets. We watch them to sort out the crap, so you don't make the same mistakes we're about to do.
Yep, and this time we watched Blood Harvest.
We did.
Starring Tiny Tim.
We watched Blood Harvest, and you may notice that I have an avatar. Well, this avatar is about to.
Yeah, I even don't know what's under this avatar, so
we're about to get together. We're about to get a little nuts.
Jesus Christ!
Jack and Jill went up the
hill. Oh my God, we have the amazing Mervo here live.
At night, when the mask is off, I look at myself.
Where'd you get that wig?
Wig? This ain't a wig. This is a mop. I got it in the lawn and garden section at not Home Depot, Walmart.
All right. All right, so we can officially have Mervo on the scene when we're about to rip his movie a new one.
Yeah, so this movie was not what we were pitched. I don't know if y'all have seen the trailer. Go watch the trailer now and come back. All right, and we're back. So, yeah, it was sold as a killer clown movie, a killer Tiny Tim clown movie, a psycho killer, but that is not the movie. That's not what the movie was. No.
I thought I was going to see Tiny Tim slaughtering people as a clown. Ukulele music playing in the background creepily.
I mean, we did get kind of a little bit of ukulele music playing creepily, but it still was not the movie. The tagline for the movie is a cocktail of vengeance and lust. So in case that wasn't in the trailer, so I mean, maybe if you read this, you'd have a little bit more of a warning of what was to come, but
what you're about to witness.
You wouldn't get the full thing. It came out a year after the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, so it came out a year after the main movie we're reviewing. It's an hour and 28 minutes. And the cast is a marvelous Mervo is played by Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim was not the star. He was just the creepy guy on the side that you thought was going to be the killer.
But he ended up being the good guy at the end. He ended up saving the day at the end. It was weird. It was only made for $800,000. It was not rated because if you'd rate this thing, it would probably go beyond an R.
Yeah, it would probably be one of the NA.
It's a 2.4 on Letterbox.
That sounds about right.
Our last Tubi movie was Meth Gator, which was 1.9. So I mean, we're going in the right direction. It was,
Going up.
it was rated a little higher. It was filmed in Wisconsin. The screenplay was reportedly written in just 3 weeks, and filming took place within a single night and day.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's rather quick.
So all the night scenes, all the day scenes were all shot in one day. And the acting in this movie reflects all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
At the beginning of the movie, there's this scene with the bank teller, and you don't see the bank teller's face, and it just sounds like everything she says is like put in post. So
yeah, just talking like right in your ear.
Yeah, it's so awkward. And so I knew what kind of movie, I didn't know what kind of movie we were getting in with that. I just knew that it was going to be crappy. And then all the icky scenes came in, and I wanted to take a shower because I felt so dirty watching a movie like this. It was pretty gross.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. It turned out to be a story of unrequited love and revenge killing.
Yeah, and it can be triggering. With
Yeah,
that being said, it can be very triggering to say the least, because there's a lot of scenes in here that's just, like I said, are filthy. Like,
yeah, it's pretty gross.
not in a fun cheesy 80s slasher way, in like a why would they even film this kind of way.
Yeah, in a way that made me pretty much pause the movie and come back to it. I was like, I can't right now. So yeah, this is another Tubi movie we didn't enjoy. We got 2 rotten eggs back to back from Tubi.
Yeah, there was a lot of unnecessary nudity in it. It was very dirty, and it did. But you know what? It didn't bore me like Meth Gator. Like,
Yeah.
it was. I will say it was interesting to watch. It wasn't boring and it wasn't fun. It wasn't good. I would not recommend it. But if it just happened to be on, it is interesting to watch. I would not watch it again, though.
I would not watch it again, no. And I definitely wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't like bring this movie to somebody and be like, you need to watch this movie. I'm not going to submit somebody to that.
No, I would not recommend, because then it'd be awkward the next time you see them and they watched it, and you'd have that weird awkward like, yeah, so that movie, huh?
Yeah, it would. You'd pretty much get the interaction from Sims where you say something in front of a Sim and you get the double negative down. Yeah, that person's going to give you the double negative.
So we don't do star ratings on here or thumbs up, but how many random Tiny Tim jump scares would you give this film?
I would give this
Out of 5.
1 random Tiny Tim jump scare with a little ukulele in the background.
I'd give it a 2.5, because unlike Meth Gator, I didn't have to do anything to watch it. Like, if I'm watching Meth Gator, I have to.
You have to it's got to be on in the background, and you're just kind of half paying attention.
Yeah, with this one, I didn't feel bored or inclined to take a nap while watching it. Like, something about it grips. Maybe it's the Tiny Tim of it all. It grips your
Maybe
attention.
it's the Tiny Tim of it all.
But yeah, it was. I'll give it a 2.5, because it's probably not the worst movie I don't feel like we're going to see.
Speaking of which, what Tubi movie will we be watching next week? Next episode.
Next episode, in 2 weeks, we'll be watching a movie parody of Saw called Slaw.
You heard that right. Slaw.
Yep. Slaw. It is on Tubi as of right now. So go check it out and email us and let us know what you will think, and we'll read it in the next episode before we start on our Tubi movie segment.
And speaking of emailing us, what's that email that people can reach us at?
Our email is horrorhomework13@gmail.com. Link, or no, it won't be a link, but you can. I'm gonna do the point. That's where you can reach us at gmail.com.
And while you're looking down there, go ahead and chainsaw that like and subscribe button. Follow us for more movie reviews. We'll keep them coming every other week.
Damn, that's loud. Sorry.
All right,
Yeah.
so meat and potatoes of it all. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, The Vitals. So, the taglines of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 that was filmed and released in 1986 was, "After a decade of silence, the buzz is back." Or just simply, "The buzz is back." Or another tagline they use to just like really drive on what kind of movie this is: "Meat's back on the menu."
It's giving Lord of the Rings. Isn't that literally a line from it?
Yeah, it is. But what came
Meat's
out
back
first?
on the menu, boys.
What came out first? Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 or Lord of the Rings?
The orcs watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, confirmed.
That is what happened. The movie was supposed to be called In the Valley of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was supposed to be a totally different movie. That Toby Hooper wanted to do a town of cannibals.
Which honestly would have been pretty interesting, in my opinion.
Director again is Toby Hooper from the first movie. We got Jim Sidell back as Drayton Sawyer, which is the only actor who returned for the movie.
And wasn't this his last movie, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, this was his last movie. They wanted to get him for a movie, a sequel to this, but more about that one later.
Yep.
Chop Top is played by Bill Moseley, which is like, I don't know if this was his introductory role to movies and stuff, but it was definitely his most out there at the time.
Definitely.
Yeah. We got Leatherface, Bill Johnson, Stretch, Caroline Williams, Lieutenant Bodie, Lefty. So they only say his real name like one or two times in the movie, and they call him Lefty for the rest of the movie. So I'm just going to call him Lieutenant Lefty.
Yeah, I've got him all in my notes just as Lefty.
Yeah. And he was played by Dennis Hopper. L.G. McPeters is played by Lou Perry. And the narrator for this one is not John Larroquette. It is Vern Stearman. I'm just going to say not John Larroquette because it is the scroll in this movie is more like really disappointing.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Bill Moseley is the standout. You may recognize him from Repo, the Genetic Opera, the Devil's Reject movies, and many others, including future TCM movies. We'll put a pin in that for later. Yeah, this movie had more of a budget. It had a $4.5 to a $4.7 million budget, and it grossed roughly $8 million. So it made its money back plus.
It basically doubled.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 had a 3.8 on Letterboxd, and this one has a 3.1 on Letterboxd. So it went down a little bit. The dip in quality is very obvious in this movie. I'm not a huge fan of this movie, but
I'm a huge fan of this movie.
there are some diehard fans of this movie.
Rocking the chop top on the shirt.
I think when Rob Zombie tells people he likes the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, people assume he means the first one, but I feel like he means this one. Like this is his favorite.
This one seems like it's up his alley.
Yeah.
100%.
And like judging by like the Devil's Reject movies, like it's basically the same movie.
Yeah, basically.
This is a little bit lower on Letterboxd. And why do we use Letterboxd? Because Letterboxd is for the people. Like Letterboxd is an app with reviews from people who've watched the movie and are just like common fans, no critics. Because if you look on Rotten Tomatoes and you look on IMDb, all the critics, their opinions suck. And like they're often like, they have the critic score and the audience score. They're often not on the same page. So
yeah, they often vary a lot.
So Letterboxd is definitely our go-to as far as reviews. Speaking of reviews, I wrote a few of these reviews down for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 from Letterboxd. Right. So I'm going to read 2 good and 2 bad, and I'm gonna try to read the names of the people who like wrote the reviews. Some of them are a little wild. All right, here's a good review from Frames of Nick. 4 stars. The batshit comedy and the setting makes this so effing fun. Wow.
Wow.
All right, then we got a good review from Will with a 4.5 stars. The closest you can get to as an adult to recapturing the magic and fun of running around one of those gigantic indoor playgrounds.
I mean, that's pretty on par. I like that one.
Yeah, it's I get that. All right, here's a 2.5 review from XIMENARIBS. Extranimums.
Centerums.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a 2.5 stars. Not horny Leatherface. I could have gone my whole life peacefully without ever watching horny Leatherface, which is accurate.
I mean, what's wrong? You know what? We'll get into that when we get to the scenes, but I'm just going to say I highly disagree.
What's wrong? Listen to you. What's wrong? So, what about some homework? You got any behind the scenes scoops? You got any?
I've got a couple of questions for you at the end, but I don't really have any behind the scenes scoops for you.
Well, you are in luck because I have all the behind the scenes here.
All right.
So the screenwriter had like a little bit to like write this from Canon Films. Canon Films approached him and said that they wanted him to like write the screenplay for this. Went to a mall and started seeing all these like yuppie people at a mall just like with their fancy polos and stuff, and he decided these are the people that like Leatherface needs to be chopping up instead of the hippies from the last movie, because they wanted to do something different. They would, if you keep killing hippies, you're just gonna be known as the chainsaw guy who kills the hippies.
Yeah, so you gotta go after somebody else.
So I guess it's a different decade, different type of people you got to go after. Weekend before shooting, Canon producer executives told the crew that they were taking $1 million away from their budget, so they had to rewrite most of the scenes as they were being shot on location.
Took away $1 million?
Yeah, they took away $1 million from their shooting budget. So
that's a huge chunk out of their budget to just take away from them.
Yeah, Canon Films aren't. I think they're defunct now. I don't think they're still around.
Yeah, if they are, they must be doing some real under the radar stuff, because I haven't heard of anything.
Yeah, if you look up some of the movies they've done, you could tell why they're not around. They're like less than B movies, pretty much.
Yeah.
Also, Canon producers saw the film and before it was released, and they were pissed because it was a comedy. They wanted a straight up horror, so they had to make major cuts, including a father-daughter plot between Lefty and Stretch. So towards the end of the movie, Lefty was supposed to find out that Stretch was his daughter, and it was supposed to be family versus family in the tunnels.
And that would have been a pretty interesting twist.
Yeah, it would have made them. I don't know.
Because he keeps calling her little sister throughout the movie.
Yeah, and maybe that not be like the change they had to film that just to put in little sister because he said daughter or something.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. Tom Savini's back in this movie. He done the mask and the makeup, which is very obvious because this is a very polished. They threw a lot of money at this movie. The mask on Leatherface is definitely a mask and not skin. Like it's cobbled together with chunks of like.
You can see like an actual face on part of the mask.
Yeah, it's cleanly done, but it's still rough. Like cleanly rough, I guess.
Yeah, I like the mask in this one. It's pretty good.
It's all right. To me, he just looked like a Muppet.
Look like a Muppet?
Looked like a Muppet, like Rolf the dog from the Muppets or something. Like he just looked goofy. So Bill Moseley got his start in this movie because of a short film that he personally filmed himself called The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Have you heard about this?
I did hear about that. I didn't look into it, but I did hear that that's where he got his start from this. And didn't he come up with this character?
Yeah. In the short film, he was just being the hitchhiker from the first movie, but an exaggerated tone of the hitchhiker. He was taking his wife to go get a manicure, and she came back to the van and was like showing off her nails, and he was like, "Oh, hey, that's a great manicure. We should celebrate with some head cheese," and was acting all kind of crazy like the hitchhiker, but more so like Chop Top. And he sent the short to Toby Hooper, and Toby Hooper liked it so much he said, "You know what? If we ever write a sequel, I'll give you a call."
Now, is that something that we can watch online anywhere?
I think so. I think you can look up clips of it online. There's a lot of cool stuff you can find on YouTube as far as like behind the scenes stuff. So, Bill Moseley, he still has his costume with the hanger and lighter and his original teeth from this movie.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool that he got to keep those things.
So he can break out and Chop Top at any time. Toby Hooper got hired on from Canon with a 3-picture deal. This was one of the pictures in the middle. The one before this he did was Life Force, and the one after this was Invaders from Mars. And they were all released within 14 months of each other.
Oh, wow. That's pretty close duration to release all those.
Yeah, you'd have to be like single or something to do all that, because where
Like,
would
no,
you have
no life.
Yeah, where would you have time for a family or anything?
You would be like working on movies day and night.
So the Town of Cannibals arc that was supposed to be filmed was inspired by a movie called Hotel Hell. And apparently that was the movie that was made. It was pretty much kind of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like a parody of Texas Chainsaw Massacre before this movie came out.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I don't know if I've said this here, but I know I've told you this one, that Cannon wouldn't pay Gunnar Hansen what he wanted to be paid. So he was supposed to return again as Leatherface, but they couldn't come to terms on like payment. So they parted ways, and that's why we got Bill Johnson. Michael Keaton was inspired by Chop Top for Beetlejuice.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the same sort of Beetlejuice mannerisms.
The original cut of this movie was rated X. It did not release in the UK, but it was released on VHS in 2001. So it took a while for it to even get to the UK. There was a famous film critic who did videos and stuff opening for like some B horror movies on TNT back in the day. Joe Bob Briggs. And he had his own like show on Shudder for a while. He had a scene in the movie, but it was cut by Cannon. Alright. The last one I got here is it was banned in multiple countries, including Australia, Germany, Singapore, Norway, Sweden, and Iceland.
Wow. I didn't know it was banned in that many countries. I mean, it is pretty gory in parts. I don't know. I just don't think it's really bannable.
I think people watched the first one and then assumed this one was going to be like that, but heard also it was going to be a lot gorier. So they just
they just right off the bat just said no.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. We can now get into the meat of all of this, the scene by scenes of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
2.
So we start off with the opening scroll, like once again, is not by John Larroquette. And he gives us pretty much a dump of what happened since before this movie started. Sally went into a coma after she got picked up by the police, and then they went and investigated and couldn't find anything, which I think is like ridiculous because you got pretty much 3 witnesses from the last movie who could say what happened on scene.
And it never says what happens with the old Sawyer house. You're telling me they couldn't find that farmhouse filled with bones from everything?
Yeah, there's no way they're cleaning that house out in less than like a week. Them cops are there the same day.
Same day.
If they're real cops. So we open up on this daytime. We got these two yuppies driving in a car, going down the road, shooting up signs. They hear Stretch playing on the radio, so they decide to call in Stretch. and they're starting to be obnoxious, saying that their name is Rick the Prick and Cornely Buzz, whatever that means. Not sure what Cornely means in the 80s.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, but that's what they decided to go with, the Buzz.
Yeah, Cornely Buzz, Rick the Prick. They're just being obnoxious, and like Stretches like, hang up the phone, and they just keep on hooting and hollering and shooting up road signs. My thing is, the whole time she's trying to ask them to hang up the phone, couldn't she hang up the phone?
I think that's what she's trying to get LG to do. He's over there unplugging things, trying to like hang up the phone. I don't think she has a way to hang up the phone.
But she had a physical phone.
Yeah, it's weird because neither time she's able to hang up the phone.
Yeah.
LG's just over there panicking.
So apparently they eventually hang up the phone. Somehow they get disconnected. And then some time passes, and then you come back at nighttime. And they're Rick and Buzz are doing the same thing. It's nighttime. They're shooting up signs or screaming. And then they call Stretch again. And she's trying to get him to hang up the phone. And the convertible almost gets cut off by a blue pickup truck, and they tell him to get him out of the way, you pig effer, and they turn on the lights, and then they start driving backwards.
And this is actually the truck a little bit earlier they had played chicken with on the road, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I missed that part. And the teens try to speed out, but the truck starts matching their speed as they're driving back. This truck's driving backwards. Then out of nowhere, you see this weird puppet-looking thing, corpse, with a chainsaw, right, like dancing around like a marionette. It's just a weird corpse. Then the corpse cranks up the chainsaw and starts slashing at the convertible. And while they're slashing at the convertible, Rick the Prick pulls out his gun and starts shooting. Shoots the cloth behind the corpse puppet to reveal Leatherface's new look. So yep. Leatherface is behind the puppet of, apparently it was Nubbins' body.
Yeah, it's Nubbins' body, and if you've watched the first movie, you people out there, you'll be able to tell by the attire and the pouch around his neck, that little fur pouch that he's got.
But he's wearing a weird army jacket now.
Yeah, he's wearing a weird army jacket. I don't know when they decided to put that on him, but he's still got his pouch, so that is the poor hitchhiker that got ran over.
I would not have gathered that the first view of watching this unless somebody told me. If that's what happened, somebody had to tell me that was Nubbins, because I was like, who the F is this guy? So they revealed this Leatherface. As they're shooting and slashing at each other, Leatherface slashes Buzz in the face diagonally. And that's a scene that was supposed to be a lot gorier than what happened.
Yeah, and it was already pretty gory, but you told me it was supposed to have like brain matter and all.
Yeah, so there was a scene where you're supposed to see the head like come up and like brain matter come out and like all kinds of like stuff pouring down his face. And Cannon didn't like that. It was that gory, and the MPAA was like, you know what? Let's cut all that out and just have it like clean cut.
Yeah, so you just kind of see it from behind, a little bit of blood spurting up, his hands kind of twitching.
Yeah, and Tom Savini was pretty upset about that because he said that they like dyed and painted all kinds of like foam peanuts and stuff to make it look like it's all falling out, and I think
that would have been pretty cool to see.
Yeah, he was pretty bummed about that. So the car crashes, and then the call finally cuts off from the station. So this whole time they were on the station, was still on the phone call with Stretch, and Stretch got all that on recording of them pretty much being chainsawed.
Yeah, basically got the whole murder on recording.
Yep. And then we get to Lieutenant Lefty.
All right, yeah, we start with the next scene with a tow truck hooking up to a crashed car. And a guy that looks like Sheriff, which we find out is Lefty, looking at evidence nearby. The evidence? A car door covered in a bunch of jagged chainsaw gashes and blood. He moves the door a bit, and he finds Rick's very distinct glasses underneath. I don't know if you can pick it up. A bunch more cop cars pull up. The cops get out and start telling Lefty that he needs to leave the area. It's restricted. It's an accident scene. He's got to go. Another guy stops them from kicking him out and asks what he's doing in town. And you find out that he's investigating the chainsaw murders and deaths of his brother's kids. So Sally and Franklin. The other cop tries to dissuade him, saying the murders were 14 years ago in South Texas, and this accident was just from some young punks having fun. So Lefty goes, yeah, and one of those boys sawed his own head off while going 90 miles per hour. You can see the cop's reaction to that and see that that information wasn't supposed to be public. And it's kind of funny. You can see the tow truck people kind of turn like, huh?
But if you think about it, though, if you're going 90 miles an hour and you crash, I mean, it could look like something happened to your head.
Yeah, you pretty much be obliterated at that point. But you just see them react to that information. It's kind of funny. The other cop tries to keep going on, telling him not to be talking and spreading all this chainsaw talk. He threatens to put him on the next plane to Amarillo. Lefty goes, well, you just do that, son. I'd like to see that authority. He says while putting a cigarette in his mouth and lighting it up. He tells the other cop he wants the story in the papers, and the other guy says he knows some boys that work down on the papers and he'll get it in there. And then Lefty says Brazos like 3 times before driving off.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I tried to find out. I have it written down here that I couldn't find much except that Brazos is a river in Texas, but also means arms or branches of a river in Spanish.
Huh.
But he says it like 3 times. Brazos.
Brazos.
So I really couldn't find out any concrete meaning of that. Next scene begins with a rather raucous group of people going down a hallway and Stretch knocking on a door. The whole time she's waiting on the door to open, the guys are throwing stuff at her, wolf whistling at her. The door opens up to Lefty, and Stretch says that she may have been a witness to the crime, as she was on the phone with him when it happened. So she reveals that she has this whole thing on tape, and he lets her in. She says it's basically regulations to record all the tapes, and they're supposed to wipe them at the end of the night, but she keeps this one because it got to her. Which, I mean, obviously, she just heard some people got chainsawed to death. And she tells him basically how the paper is making him sound crazy, chasing chainsaws for 14 years. But she says she believes him and probably has some of the best evidence he's going to get. He basically doesn't believe her and tries to kick her out of the hotel room. He tells her she's just going to get in his way, but she's like, I'm already right in the middle of it. You might as well just let me help. He ends up kicking out and says he can do it alone because he doesn't have any fear left, which gives him a leg up on the killers because basically they can sense fear. So next we cut to LG, who's making a log cabin out of french fries while waiting on her downstairs.
A marvelous log cabin.
Marvelous log cabin out of french fries.
I wonder if he just ordered french fries, because that's a lot of french fries.
That's a lot of french fries.
That's not a side of french fries. You'd have to order a big plate of french fries.
You'd have to order a few sides of french fries for this. Because he's legit making a log cabin out of french fries. So Stretch is like stomping over to him because apparently he was waiting down there for her. She's mumbling on her breath. She sits down and says, hard ass. LG looks confused and says, hard ass? Me? Well, maybe semi-hard ass, but I got a soft heart. I like LG. He's a bit of a goofus.
A goofus.
He's
country goofus.
Goofus. He shows her he made her a fry house, making her smile a bit. And then a triangle starts to ring loudly, and the camera pans to chili being poured into a trophy. Drayton Sawyer is announced as the chili cook-off champion. When he comes on screen, people that have watched the first movie immediately know him as the cook, or the old man. The crowd's all cheering for him, and the announcer says that this is his 2nd year in a row winning. She asked him to spill the secret of the tasty chili. He says that it's all in the meat. He has a real good eye for prime meat. Runs in the family.
You don't skimp on the meat.
Don't skimp on the meat. The announcer lady then, feels something in her mouth and spits out what looks like a tooth. Drayton snatches it from her, claiming it's one of those hard-shelled peppercorns. what Stretch had grabbed her microphone, a little more mobile recording setup, and her and LG were over there recording the chili winner announcement. And that's basically where that scene ends. And then we cut to the chainsaw store.
Yeah, so Lieutenant Lefty finds a chainsaw store in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's just, they just sell chainsaws. They don't sell, like,
Nothing but chainsaws.
hammers or nothing. Just chainsaws, the chainsaw store.
I didn't
He,
know there were that many chainsaws to open a store.
apparently, you can get different brands, different size of bars on them, and all kinds of stuff. So he goes in the store and he's playing around with the chainsaws, and the way he's like holding these chainsaws and like maneuvering them, like there's no
Yeah,
way.
pushing them around.
Yeah, and the owner's looking at him, and by the way he's playing with him, there's no way he's cutting a tree or anything like that. The guy's like, this is a little weird. So Lefty's in the chainsaw store fiddling around with the chainsaws, and the owner's like, "Can I help you with anything?" And Lefty just throws down like a few $100 on the table. Here, just take cash. I don't care how much it costs. Here's all the cash. I'm gonna walk out with 2 chainsaws. And
3 chainsaws.
you said how many? 3 chainsaws?
Yeah, because remember he's got the little dual wielding and he's got the big one.
Oh yeah. Because because you can't fight a chainsaw guy with a gun, because he's a lieutenant. He has this stuff. He has to go in with a chainsaw for some reason.
You gotta fight chainsaws with chainsaws, I guess.
Yep. So he walks out and he starts practicing sawing on a tree, just hacking away at the tree, and the whole time the owner is just looking at this guy like, the fuck is this guy's problem? Like, he's just so confused at what's going on. So yeah, he starts swinging at a tree. Then later, Stretch runs into Lieutenant Lefty sitting on the stairs while he's smoking. And he's sitting there and they're talking a bit, and he's like, you know what, okay, I want to listen to the tape, but I don't want to hear the tape from you. I want you to play it on the radio. Like, we need some sort of reaction out of them. You playing it on the radio will get a reaction out of them, and then I don't know where to find them. She's hesitant about it, but she does it. And she says, alright, I'll play it live on the radio. The killers have to be traveling. And so he's like, you know what, call me Lefty. And she's like, okay, you can call me Stretch. Then we cut to Drayden celebrating in his truck for some reason. Like, he's in his truck, he's celebrating his victory, he's talking to himself. This old man's got some problems, obviously, but he's like,
yeah, he's got some screws loose.
he's in there, screws loose, talking to himself, singing and stuff. Then he gets a call from Chop Top, and he's getting all worried. He's like, well, you need to go down there and fix it or do something about it. And then you get to Stretch.
All right, so back at the radio station, Stretch ends the broadcast, finally. She changes it back to music, which for some reason she starts with the Star Spangled Banner. And LG tells her that another caller just rang up cussing them out. He tells her that they got a lot of complaints, and she was like, it's a request, and it's logged as a request, and that people always complain about the request, right? He comes over, and he puts his hat on the notes that she's writing and asks if she wants to go out for coffee. She stands up, gives him his hat back, and basically backs him out the door, saying nope. LG basically seems jealous at this point and says, guess you're still waiting on this guy Lefty, huh? She tells him good night, and he leaves the studio room. She receives a phone call after that. It's all silence until it finally hangs up, which you start getting creepy vibes right there, especially since she's not by herself. You then hear metal clanging and a door open and close, which jolts her to full alertness. She stands up, calling out to see if it's LG or Lefty. Then she leaves the studio to walk down the hall to a metal sliding door that's halfway open already. She opens it, looks in a bit, nothing. So she continues down the hall to a door at the end with like an eerie red glow coming through the glass windows of it, as well as a shadow moving. She stops, basically in fear, as she opens the door to Chop Top on a couch. My man, personally.
Nah, I'd be like, you gotta go.
Which basically she is. She's like, what the F are you doing? You've got to go. We're closed. And he's like, I want to buy some radio ad time. She asks if he's crazy, and she's like, we're closed, and you'll have to come back. He starts talking crazy about radio waves and radio land, then stands up, and he's like picking at his head with a bent up metal hanger. And he like puts it to his mouth and eats something off of it. He says that he and his little brother Bubba listen to her music station every night. Cue the peace sign and music is my life. He heats up the tip of the hanger with a lighter and begins to scratch his head with it again, talking about how he's always wanted to get in a request but found phone calls too disembodied and wanted to know if he requested something in person if it still counted, all while he's like scratching his head and groaning. He requests Inagata da Vida by Iron Butterfly.
Which
He
is
then
not a
asks for
bad
a
choice.
Yeah, which is not a bad choice.
Long ass song though. The original
Yeah.
is the longest song.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a long request. So he then asks for a tour, and she's like fearfully like, okay, tour, but then it ends at the exit sign and you leave. So she starts showing him random stuff on the desk, like a lamp, a Rolodex, Mr. Shark, which is like a little clampy shark on a stick. And then she tells him to leave once they reach the exit sign. So he points at the exit sign and goes, E-X-I-T, exit. Like, bro is unhinged. You can tell. So then they go back and forth with good night. Oh, good night. Back and forth, back and forth. But he doesn't leave. He then reveals the real fact of why he's there, because she played the Lefty request record. He starts imitating the chainsaws, the gunshots, and the screaming, then asks if she'll play it again, while approaching and dragging the hanger down the wall. They're both standing in front of this dark doorway, and he stops and asks, what's in there? I just look up and you're like, She says it's the record vault. He says maybe the new music is in there, clicking the light on, and out runs Leatherface, chainsaw roaring.
Maybe the new music's
We didn't hear him like start the chainsaw up or anything. It's just on and going. So he runs out, chainsaw roaring. He ends up hitting Chop Top on the head with the chainsaw as he runs past. Chop Top yells at him to get the girl, not him. Sketch runs upstairs screaming down the hallway. She grabs a fire extinguisher and sprays Leatherface with it, trying to buy herself time to close the metal door shut and lock herself inside. And I wrote down doors. Bubba's biggest op. If you remember the first movie of him slicing up the front door trying to get in. So now he's slicing up a metal door trying to get in.
Yeah.
We go back to Chop Top, who's now revealed to be mostly bald with a metal plate in his head, now bent because of the chainsaw. He's yelling about his poor plate and his non-flashbacks.
Yeah, because apparently he was a nom the whole time of the first movie.
He was a nom, yeah. And then he mourns the loss of his Sonny Bono wig, calling Leatherface a bitch hog, just like Drayton did in the first movie. He then picks a piece of flesh from around the plate and eats it. And then he yells for Leatherface to get her, saying, "Dog will hunt.
Dog will hunt."
Dog will hunt. Then we go back to Leatherface and Stretch. She's screaming and clutching the fire extinguisher while he's screaming and slicing up the metal door to no avail. Chop Top yells again for Bubba to get her while he's going through the records of the vault. After a couple more chops at the door, the chainsaw dies. Now we see LG pull up at the station again, having brought coffee for him and Stretch. As he's going up the stairs, he sees an unfamiliar truck and is confused. He spits over the side of the railing. This dude's always spitting, by the way. He spits so much.
So Toby Hooper was like, is there something you want to add to the character? Is there something you want to do? And he was like, I guess I could spit. So that was like something he's always doing now. Yeah, that was his added like thing to the character.
Wow. Alright, well, yeah, he spits over the side of the railing and goes inside. And he yells, "Stretch, you know the front door's unlocked." And as he goes up the stairs, he hears something and he sees Chop Top going through the records. When he yells at him, Chop Top says,
Hey, lick my plate, you dog dick.
then Bubba crashes through the door, knocking LG down the stairs, and as he's on the ground, Chop Top begins using a hammer to repeatedly smash him on the head. Like over and over and over again.
And he's saying, incoming mail.
Yeah, incoming mail. And he says something about Ho Chi Minh, which I think is Vietnamese. I don't know, but he's like babbling while he's smacking him in the head. So anyways, Bubba gets his chainsaw going again, and he goes back to the metal door, and he does my favorite thing. I called it his little chainsaw shimmy.
I hate that. That is the worst thing they've done with this movie.
Like it?
No.
That is my favorite thing. He's just like going side to side.
He does it way too much in this movie.
I love it so much.
If this was its own movie and he was his own character, not Leatherface, maybe. But this is supposed to be a sequel, and I did not pick up what they were laying down.
I don't know. As a certified Leatherface simp, I think it's cute.
I guess.
But anyways, he inside the room, Stretch grabs like a metal claw of sorts to defend herself from a chainsaw. She gets that to defend herself as Bubba like jerks on the door trying to open it. Everything goes quiet and she's like backing away from the door, and then he busts through the wall on the right side of her. We have shots going back and forth between Chop Top hitting LG with the hammer, and then Bubba sawing at sodas on a metal bin of ice and cans of soda that she's sitting on, screaming and spraying her with liquid.
Yeah, so I wonder if that tub's always there, because it just seemed to be a random like thing, like a random tub of ice and soda.
And all the ice is perfectly intact. Nothing looks melted.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like if it was sitting there for a while, it would have been like soupy or something.
But we got fresh. So he starts like chainsawing the ice and the cans, like soaking her with soda while she's screaming. Then his chainsaw stops, and he just looks at her.
I love you. I want to take you away from all of this.
And then he just sort of brandishes the chainsaw at her, and she asks if he's mad at her while he kind of looks at her while licking his lips. Cue the awkward praise kink scene.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Where she starts asking him, how good are you? And saying he's really good while he runs the chainsaw up her leg and to her crotch.
God dang.
Really awkward.
And the whole time I think he's thinking,
hey baby. Are you one of the ones who like does it?
Yeah.
That's in his brain right now.
That's in his brain as he's licking his lips and running the chainsaw up her leg. I wrote down that he's obviously affected by her and her words and her outfit being absolutely soaked in soda. So he begins to grunt and whimper that eventually starts the chainsaw again, starting to absolutely destroy the room they're in and then the studio on the other side of the busted wall. I wrote down that I wasn't sure, like, if he started to destroy everything out of confusion of how he was feeling at the situation, or if he was trying to make it sound like he was hunting her down and killing her, like to back up his story.
I feel like maybe that one.
Yeah, but I think he was also probably a little bit confused.
I think the first one, I think the Leatherface from the first movie would have done that, but the Leatherface from this movie is just like covering his tracks.
Yeah, so that's probably what he was doing. As just as confused as I was about why he's doing that, is as confused as she is, because he comes back in and humps his chainsaw at her. You can tell she gets the ick, and she's just like, "What are you doing?"
Like, brother,
ooh. So then, after humping his chainsaw at her, he leaves the room to go back down to Chop Top. He asks if he got her, and Bubba sort of nods, looking back towards the room up where she's at. Chop Top says that she was his favorite, but she knew, and now nobody knows. Then he gets mad about his plate being damaged before immediately switching back to being happy again and asking if he got her good. Like, he's switching moods like crazy.
Yeah, he's pretty
then
wild.
He's like pretty wild. Then they high five over the successful kill, and then they drag LG's body out of there and back to the truck. Chop Top runs back in to grab that cowboy hat off the desk, and then runs back out to the truck, honking a bike horn on the way. Stretch watches them get into the truck, and she knows she can't just let him get away. Lefty's late and she has to do something, so she follows them all the way to an abandoned amusement park. She pulls up and gets out of the car, only to be slowly chased by a second car for a bit. Which, how did they not see the headlights from the second car?
Well, my thing is, how is she freaked out by the second car? Because she's met Lefty before. Like,
But she hadn't seen his car. Or no, she did, because he was waiting outside.
yeah.
But either way, like, it's their truck, Stretch, and then Lefty's car. Like,
And
they
how-
can see the headlights. Or
Yeah,
her.
there's like a convoy of people following them.
Yeah. So I don't know how they didn't see any of that, but plot hole that I guess I'm going to ignore a little bit.
Yeah, you have to suspend a lot of disbelief in this movie.
Yeah, you have to ignore several plot holes. But let's see. So she gets chased by that second car for a bit. The car finally stops and it's revealed that it's Lefty. So she ends up falling into a tunnel and gets like, she's held up by netting or some sort of roots and is like barely hanging on. She asked him where he was and he reveals that he used her as bait, basically to lead him to them. He grabs a skeleton arm nearby to reach down and try to pull her up. She grabs it and obviously the skeleton arm breaks, sending her tumbling all the way down a swirly slide. And then she lands on a skeleton and falls down another floor further down. She's falling forever at this point.
That was a weird thing that they went from a house in the first movie to living in an amusement park here. Like, what? How did that even happen? Like, what was the...
Yeah, I want to know like how they got to this amusement park, this abandoned amusement park. But either way, she falls forever. And then Lefty runs to his car after tossing the skeleton arm aside and grabs his dual-wielding chainsaws and his big chainsaw, and after a short prayer, runs screaming into the amusement park.
Yeah, he's very religious towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, he does a lot of praying.
Lefty starts sawing down, screaming, "Let's bring it all down." And then meanwhile, we come down to Stretch in the tunnels. So, Stretch comes to and hears the family arguing as they bust in the room that she's in with LG. And they're telling them to cut them up good, cut big fat pieces out of them, cut them up. And they just kind of walk away as he starts cutting LG up. As Bubba starts cutting LG up with an electric turkey knife. Like,
yeah, which I find kind of comical because he comes in and grabs it and sort of revs it up like a little chainsaw.
Yeah, and he just starts like slicing off little pieces. I don't know if that would work the way that they used it in the movie, but
Yeah, I don't think so. But I like one of the comments they make. They say that they need to get him skinned and gutted and can make lots of croissant sandwiches from it.
yeah, for the big game.
Yeah.
They're going to sell all the stuff from LG at the big game. So, he starts cutting and chop and drain and leave as Bubba starts hanging up skin and to dry it out and stuff. And then Stretch makes a commotion, which gives away her like position where she's at. And Bubba starts like finds her, like is looking around and finally finds her. She manages to get Bubba to calm down because like he finds her and he starts like freaking out a little bit. And she's like, "Calm down."
Yeah, she starts saying repeatedly, "No good."
No good, no good. So she gets him to calm down, but then he goes, "Hold on a minute. I got something for you." He doesn't say that, but he goes away and comes back with LG's face and just kind of hangs it on Stretch and was like, "Yeah, you need a face too." And then he puts LG's cowboy hat on top of her, and then he picks her up and they start dancing. I don't know what that was about.
They're spinning her around and around and around.
Yeah, like, did he have a thing for LG or did he have a thing for Stretch? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
Yeah, so they start dancing with her. Meanwhile, Lefty is like trying to tear down the house. Like, he's just still you get a shot of Lefty and he's like sawing up like beams and stuff.
Not the smartest thing because I mean, obviously the whole freaking place is going to come down on you.
Yeah, I mean, not only are you going to like get the family, you're going to get yourself too. You want an escape plan.
But he said he wants to send the whole place to hell, so he's sawing away.
So he's just sawing away. So Stretch gets tied up and left alone. Bubba ties her up, and LG finally comes to. So Stretch gets tied up, and Bubba goes out because his family hears a commotion. Here's the commotion, so he goes to find out what the commotion is from Lefty. So Stretch gets tied up and left alone. So LG finally comes to. Apparently he wasn't dead. He was still alive as he was being skinned.
And with as many times as he got whacked with a hammer.
I will say that the makeup effects on LG in this scene was pretty good. Like his face missing and skin
it was pretty
stuff.
good. Like part of his chest missing.
Yeah, so I will say Tom Savini did a good job on like the gore and stuff of the kills and stuff. LG finally comes to. He wasn't dead. He was skinned by his ribs and his face, but still tries to save Stretch. He unties her, and then he collapses, and then assumedly finally dies.
And that's when she finally realizes that body was him. She hadn't realized that whole time.
Yeah, she didn't know that was LG. She just thought it was a random body. But then he says something like "darling" or something.
Yeah.
And then she realizes it's him. So then Stretch is now free, and she walks out of the death room and finds the family arguing, blaming Bubba for all the beams getting like sawed up and stuff, and she just keeps standing there watching them argue.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Lefty is still going ham on these support beams. Like it keeps showing Lefty like chopping up these support beams, going crazy, screaming at the top of his lungs and stuff. You hear Drayton start spitting some like major facts about like property taxes and how this is going to drive up the property taxes of his like the amusement park, because apparently he pays property taxes on the amusement park. I don't know.
Which I highly doubt.
Yeah, start yelling. Politicians don't pay taxes. Movie stars don't pay taxes. Crooks don't pay taxes. Just the little guy trying to make a dime, and which like I felt that in my soul when he said that. Like,
he really said down with the billionaires.
So while the commotion is going on, Stretch is like running around, like trying to figure out where to go and stuff, and then she gets discovered going up a tunnel, and he's like, "What was that? I just seen a booger go in one of those tunnels." And then Drayton tells Bubba to go after her. And then we cut
back to Lefty.
Yes.
All right, his chainsaw finally stops as he sees a skeleton in a wheelchair. Franklin from the first movie.
Yeah,
he approaches
it. There's nothing signifying other than he's in a wheelchair.
But he has a flashlight too.
Yeah, but how is Lefty going to know that he had a flashlight with him?
He wouldn't.
We as the audience know that.
You have to kind of like go with it.
I guess.
But anyway, he approaches it, and you see that he still has the flashlight in his hand, and the flashlight somehow still works for a moment after 14 years before dying.
Somehow.
Lefty says, "Don't you cry, my brother. I'm here now." He starts his chainsaw again while yelling, "They can't do this!" And he begins to saw down more beams and talking about taking them to hell again. Like he's just going ham all over again. Then we go back to Stretch. She's running through the tunnel. She's sobbing and trying to find a way out when she hears a chainsaw and sees some beams fall inward towards her. Thinking it's Bubba, she runs away from it. Past bodies and bones and scenes made from bodies and bones. Like I saw skeletons lounging under a beach umbrella.
Yeah, and there's one with a skeleton on a rocket ship type deal.
I didn't see that one, but yeah, there's like whole scenes made from these bodies.
Yeah.
So she runs right into the chainsaw wielding Bubba. She screams and he chases after her, swinging the chainsaw around. They run right into a collapsing of beams that Lefty cut down, cutting off their chase. She yells at Bubba, asking if they could talk about it, and he's poking her in the chest with the chainsaw while she begs to be let go. Then Drayton and Chop Top arrive in the tunnels and see Stretch there. Drayton blames her for wrecking their house until Chop Top says, "That's the DJ, my fave." Drayton realizes that Bubba lied about killing her. Chop Top says that Bubba's been playing with her and chanted, "Bubba's got a girlfriend, Bubba's got a girlfriend." But Drayton asks if that's what this is, and Bubba just looks awkward and kind of shrugs. Drayton says, Is that what this is? The old cock and cunt swindle? SCEX. Sex. Which, good job, Drayton, on the spelling. Bravo.
Wow.
Stretch begins to cry, begging for Bubba to help her, and he steps forward to kind of touch her face and console her. Drayton jerks him back and tells him to leave her alone. He says he needs to finish her now. Bubba shakes his head no, and Drayton takes a chainsaw from him, calling him a traitor. Says, "You got one choice, boy, sex or the saw." Sex is, well, nobody knows, but the saw. Saw is family.
Saw is family. He wouldn't know.
Bubba begins smacking his head on a metal lamp above, and then Chop Top approaches with like a really large bone, counting down until he hits her and knocks her out.
Yeah, that was wild.
To the dinner scene.
You know, if I were to like this movie and I had a favorite scene, I'd feel like that scene would be my favorite scene, where he's just like, where Drayton's dialogue heavy and he's just talking some random stuff.
He's always talking some random stuff. He's always going off.
Like he had some bangers in the first movie, but in this movie he had some. They gave him they gave him
some good dialogue.
Good dialogue. They wrote him good. So then we get a dinner scene again. Then why do we need another dinner scene in the second movie?
I don't know, but it's basically deja vu with her waking up screaming.
It's the same scene from the first movie, all the way down to like, oh, Grandpa's the best, let's get Grandpa, and like Grandpa like using the hammer. So then we get to the dinner scene. She wakes up. Drayton's younger brothers, and Grandpa are there. So, and here you get the age reveal that Grandpa is 137 years old.
But as fast as Jesse James.
As fast as Jesse James. When I say Drayton's younger brothers, I mean Leatherface and Chop Top. Because in the first,
that it's their brothers.
Yeah, in the first movie it really wasn't established what they were, but in this movie they say they're brothers. So yeah, like I said, Drayton insists that Grandpa's still spry and he's still like the best, fast as Jesse James, which I thought this version of Grandpa was a little weird, because in the first movie he looked like a corpse, like he was about to turn to dust. And
this one's like more alive. Yeah,
and he has hair. The first one he didn't have hair. This one he's got hair and he looks more like lively. I don't know what's going on with that. So they tried to kill her the same way they did Sally in the first movie. Like, this is the whole same thing until Chop Top like puts the hanger up to Grandpa's mouth and he eats and licks something off the hanger.
Yeah, it's real awkward. The zoom in of his lips while he's like licking the hanger.
But is it blood from Chop Top or blood from her that he's licking, I wonder?
I'm pretty sure it's flesh from Chop Top's head.
And that's what gives him the power.
That's good, isn't it?
That's what gives him the power to finally like grab the hammer and like take a good couple of swings. But they weren't that good because he was making contact, but he wasn't doing any damage.
And if I could just go back for a second, like before all this, Bubba gets his first kiss. We glossed over the kiss.
I missed that.
Yeah. He like starts soothing her and kissing her on the head, and then he like tilts her face up and gets a kiss on the lips.
Oh, I missed that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? I might rewatch that just to see that part, because I missed that part.
He gets a kiss.
Not that I feel
not
like
that
I want to
see
watch.
That.
Not I want to watch the movie again, because this is not my favorite one so far. I will pick up interest in these movies when we get to the remakes.
Oh, the remakes are fire. I can't wait to watch it.
The first one has my full attention. This one kind of like starts to lose it, and then 3 and 4 happen. I black them out, and then we get the remake. So when we start getting back into those, you'll start getting more better dialogue out of me, I guess, with this stuff.
Well, I'm all over this movie. This is my favorite.
So Drayton starts growing impatient and he says, "Let's get on with it." And then he grabs the hammer and knocks Stretch out. And then enters the batshit Lefty. Like, you hear like this loud commotion, and then dust settling, and then you hear singing. Lefty starts singing, "Shall we gather at the river?" A Christian hymn before making his appearance known. And this Drayton has another banger line here, like it just gets a chuckle out of me. He's like, "Did Delmar Catering sent you?" Like he thinks another truck company
Another
sent
catering
him.
company sent him.
He's like, "Did somebody send you?" And that got a chuckle out of me.
Yeah, Lefty can be heard singing, and Chop Top starts singing along to this Christian hymn. So they're both singing, and then he appears and jumps into the room with his own chainsaw, brandishing at it. Of course, like you said, Drayton thinks it's another catering company sent to get him. So he tries to pay him off.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
He pulls out a stack of cash and tries to pay him off.
Because he's got mad cash, because he's the champion, I guess.
Yeah, he's the champion. So Stretch wakes up because they obviously didn't hit her hard enough. She just got a little whack on the head. And she calls out to Lefty. So Lefty revs up his chainsaw, and he gets Drayton right between his legs, right between the butt cheeks. Like he saws him right between the legs.
Which is another like testament to how goofy this movie is. Like they got to get him in the butt.
Right in the butt. So then he goes and frees Lefty with the chainsaw, and then the chainsaw battle starts. So Stretch gets free during it, only to be chased down by Chop Top. So then we're cutting back and forth to between them and the chainsaw battle. We cut back to Bubba and Lefty as the battle continues for some reason on top of the dinner table. Like they're fighting on the table now.
Oh wow.
And as Grandpa's watching on, and the camera pans at one point, which I wrote down was pretty funny, to Nubbins' body with a twisty straw in his mouth, connecting to a soda bottle like they had him trying to drink. I don't know why I thought that little detail was funny. Drayton is under the table, and he's spewing off again how the businessman always gets it in the ass in the end.
Yep.
But it sure took care of his hymns and saved him a trip to the hospital.
More wisdom by Drayton.
More Drayton wisdom. He reaches back and looks at the blood on his hand from his butt wound and says that it looks bad. Back to Stretch and Chop Top as he's chasing her through the lair before we go back to the chainsaw battle. Lefty gets Bubba in the stomach with the chainsaw. At some point, Drayton grabs Nubbins' body and pulls it down under the table, looking for something called a pause. Am I allowed to cuss?
I don't see why not.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Drayton grabs Nubbins' body at some point and pulls it down under the table, looking for something called a "fuck you, Charlie."
What's your profanity?
Right.
As Lefty is cutting up Bubba's stomach, Grandpa gets up. He can walk now.
Yeah.
137 years old. He gets up.
That's a big departure. Well, he had the blood too and the Chop Top bits. So
yeah,
that gives him the power.
That gave him the power to stand up, I guess. Lefty then changes to his dual-wielding chainsaws as his large one is impaled in Bubba. Grandpa's raising the hammer like he means to intervene on the fight. Then we go back to Drayton under the table as he's digging through Nubbins' pouch, and he finds the just in case, a grenade. He pulls the tab and holds it down. Then we go back to Stretch and Chop Top as he knocks her to the ground, gets on top of her, and holds her down until she kicks him off. She grabs a lamp and hits him right in the head with it, holding it there and shocking him right in his metal plate. She looks up and sees an exit sign, and so she goes up the stairs beside it. Back to the battle, Grandpa tosses the hammer, misses Lefty, almost hits Bubba. Bubba drops the saw onto the table, and it cuts into Drayton underneath, which causes him to drop the grenade. It's a whole domino effect of a battle. So, Lefty raises his dual-wielding chainsaws and yells. Like, he's been screaming this whole time.
Yeah, this is the very screamy part of the movie. Like, Lefty's screaming.
Everybody's screaming.
Yeah.
It's constantly back and forth between scenes, like cutting back and forth. Speaking of which, we go back to Chop Top and Stretch, and an explosion can be seen and heard as they're climbing some stairs. They exit out, and it's daylight now. They scuffle on the stairs as he's cutting into her with a razor blade, just like Nubbins did. Like, he fights just like Nubbins. She bites at his hand and jumps onto his back and is biting at his ear before they fall into a rock face, and she hits at him before continuing up the stairs with him on her tail again, slicing up the back of her legs. She kicks him and the guardrail breaks, hanging him over the side of a rock. She reaches the top of the stairs into a room with Grandma's body on a throne of bones. Chop Top somehow pulls himself back up using the broken guardrail and into the room with her. He tells her it's a dead end and calls her a hog bitch.
Yeah, not a bitch hog like the first movie. And
Yeah, but switches it around. Then he starts cutting his own neck in several shallow gashes and says a weird line. He says, "It's like death eating a cracker, isn't it?"
yeah, that was a little out of place, I thought. I think maybe there was like more to that scene that got cut out or something, but
Yeah, because that was just so random. Then Stretch ends up looking around and she grabs the chainsaw off of Grandma's lap, breaking it free from her hands.
which looked like the original chainsaw from the first movie.
Yeah, which looked like the original chainsaw. And this part caught me off guard a little bit. Grandma almost appears to be moving a bit before she falls still. So I think she actually was still alive.
They just sat her up there?
Yeah, like her head's moving a little bit before she like falls still. And then Chop Top is pissed at this point, saying she killed Grandma. He attacks her, cutting her all up while she tries to get the old chainsaw running, which she somehow finally does. Which, if it is the same chainsaw, it hasn't been running in 14 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that works. And then she finally gets him running and cuts him up repeatedly with it until he falls out of the building, and she spins around like with the chainsaw like Leatherface in the first movie while screaming, and the camera pans out dramatically.
Yeah. And then that's the end of the movie.
And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, so that was something.
All right, so what are your overall thoughts on the movie? Because I know that you're not a fan, and I'm a mega fan. So I need to see where you stand.
So my overall thoughts of this movie is, if you're going to do a sequel to a horror movie, you should make it not like the first movie, but have the same tone as the first movie. Like, if you go into Evil Dead and you watch Evil Dead, and then you watch Evil Dead 2, yeah, that one's a comedy, one's a slightly more comedic take on what came before it, and one's like a straight up horror movie. But they both have like similar vibes to it. This one, you get the first Texas Chainsaw, which is a straight up horror movie, and this one is like a scary movie, like a parody, like a straight up, like, I don't know.
I mean, you do, in the first movie, you do get a bit of dark comedy vibes at the end with the dinner scene.
Yeah, at the end. But the whole movie wasn't like slapstick like this one was. Like, you don't have Leatherface going through the whole movie.
I love that. I thought it was cute. It's a little chainsaw shimmy.
And that's one thing like horror movies do that's like, I think takes me out of stuff when they do a sequel, is they take one or two things that make like the first movie good and they amp it up and like do it like crazy, like too much. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts on that movie. But now that we've watched it, what is your thoughts? What is your thoughts as a mega fan?
As a mega fan, I loved every bit of it, and I would like more Chop Top, and I feel like the romantic in me wanted some sort of situation to happen between her and Bubba.
I could see that though.
Like, I feel like that should have happened.
Like, okay, let's get into this. If you were to rewrite the movie, how would you rewrite the movie?
Instead of, like, there was that scene with LG, she also confessed that she loved him. Like, as he died again.
Yeah, she did say that, didn't she? She said, I love you. Yeah, that's another thing that took me out of this movie, too, because in the first movie, you got people talking normal, and this one, it's like they amped up, like, the Texas accent part, like, LG. LG, I love you.
I
Like,
always loved you.
there's too much. Too much. The other one was like a subtle dig at like Texans, and this one was just like, all right,
Let's lay it on thick.
Let's lay it on thick.
But yeah, I would change it, and I would have some sort of a Stockholm syndrome situation happen, and she falls for Leatherface and becomes part of the family. That would probably lead to like another dark comedy sequel along the same lines.
You know,
but instead, basically everybody dies.
That's exactly how I would rewrite it too. That's actually, I think, what I wrote down how I would rewrite it. Was obviously lonely in this movie, and in the end of the movie, he still doesn't like get the girl, even though he like tries. So, how about we try to make him a dating profile?
A dating profile. I'm into it. Let's make him a dating profile.
Dating profile. So this is a bit that I downloaded on my phone. We got a couple of questions we can ask. So, off of the actor's height and build and age. So we got Bubba Sawyer, his name. His height is 6'3" and husky, and he is 34 years old. So let's give him an occupation. What would be his occupation?
Occupation. I feel like he could just simply put butcher.
Butcher?
Butcher.
Just butcher without any...
Or even like a deli worker or something.
Deli butcher.
Or he could just say works in meat.
Works in meat. Occupation, we'll just say meat butcher.
Yeah, meat butcher.
What does he like? What's his likes?
Well, according to this movie, he likes dancing.
Well, yeah, he does like dancing.
He likes dancing. He likes his
amusement parks.
Yeah, amusement parks. He likes his family.
Oh, he's very family forward. There we go. Likes family.
Yeah, very family forward. And trying to think how I could put it, because in the first movie, when he puts on the grandma mask, he's like very caring and stuff. So something about that, like likes to work around the house.
Yeah, homemaker.
Yeah, homemaker.
Homemaker. What does he dislike?
What does he dislike? Trespassers.
Home invasions.
Home invasions, trespassers. Anybody that messes with his family or his property.
What are some hobbies? What does this guy like to do in his free time when people are not invading his house and stuff?
I feel like he does like to cook and clean.
You think he's got a favorite TV show?
I don't think he knows what TV is.
You don't think they watch TV?
I don't think they watch TV.
You think they listen to a lot of radio? He does like music.
He does like music. They probably do. He probably listens to radio with Chop Top a lot, which Chop Top did mention.
And she did play Oingo Boingo. No One Lives Forever. And they say they listen. Maybe that might be one of his favorite songs.
And we could also say that he's crafty. He likes crafts. He makes the masks.
That's right. And in the
so
first
he knows
movie,
how to sew and everything.
In the first movie, there was all kinds of weird bone art. So maybe he had a hand in all that.
Yeah, he probably helped Nubbins with that. But yeah, I'd say he's like crafty. He likes to do arts and crafts.
Yeah, I could see that. Arts and crafts, music. What are 5 words he would use to describe himself?
5
words he would use.
Well, I can't use. The bandwidth cut out right when I did that.
Yeah. To be honest, you're like 5 words and then silence, and then you came back and you went.
5 words to describe himself.
If he were
artistic, family man.
That's 2 words.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Let's see.
We'll put those two words together.
Artistic family
Artistic,
man.
family man. Caring.
Caring.
I would say he is possessive.
Possessive.
Especially over like his land and his family.
Okay.
So I don't know if that would be a good trait to write down. I don't know. Help me out. Which would the last one be?
Let's see. We got possessive, family man. What else did you say?
Artistic.
Artistic, possessive. Clean? No, not clean. He's not a very clean person.
Clean.
Definitely not clean. Cook? No.
Caring or
Caring?
doting, especially when he has the grandma mask on.
Yeah, okay. You said doting?
Yeah, doting.
Doting.
Like an old woman would dote over somebody.
Okay, so doting.
And I feel like another word would be lonely.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Lonely. There would be another
lonely,
word.
I can see.
There would be a word. How would people describe me? How would people describe him?
How would people describe him? Tall? He's definitely not tall, dark, and handsome. Hold on.
He is tall. In
Tall?
the first movie, he was tall.
Really tall. Tall, strong, silent type.
Tall, strong, silent type.
Yeah.
Okay. Tall,
Because
strong, silent.
he stays pretty quiet in this movie. I mean, he does like scream a bit when he's trying to chop up the door, but
That's true.
Oh, and then we did get the Leatherface whimpering audio.
Yeah. What would he be looking for in a partner? I would say meat, a lot of meat on their bones, but
Meat on their bones, yeah.
Stretch really didn't have a lot of meat on her bones.
Yeah. No, she didn't. So I don't know if that would really be a quality.
Maybe caring.
Caring, and he would look for somebody that would never leave.
Yeah. Compassionate.
And if they didn't get along with his family, they'd have to go. They're going in the chili.
Going in the chili. Someone that would praise him a lot.
Yeah, definitely somebody that would praise him a lot.
So, as you may now see, I am not a clown anymore. I have a child, and I had to pick them up at daycare. I just didn't feel like going to the daycare dressed up like Pogo the Clown. So,
I still feel like it would have been a good idea for you to just step out of the car, just makeup and a mop on your head.
They would probably call the cops, and my wife would probably have to explain.
You know what? Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have shown up as a clown. That's a good idea.
So, now that I'm fresh-faced, and hopefully that we got Bubba a mate, it's time for a quiz. We've done our homework. Now it's time to quiz each other with 5 questions to see who was really paying attention. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
First question. What was the name of the person driving the car in the beginning of the movie? Driving the car.
Driving the car?
Yes.
Buzz.
Correct. Cornelly Buzz. Oh,
I remember that because he got his head buzzed.
That is correct. I should have put a ding in here as a sound effect. Let's see. You know what? That was correct.
Correct. All right.
All right, my turn.
What is the tag on the back of Buzz and Rick's car?
Get the F out of here. I went easy on you. Okay.
It's a good one, so I had to include it.
Is it dead?
No.
You got me. Got my first one wrong.
FAHQ. Fact you.
Oh my gosh. What a cracker. All right.
Yep.
Your next question. What color was Chop Top's truck?
Blue.
Blue it was. The truck was blue. And nobody drove in the last movie, so Chop Top was the only one with a car in the family so far.
Yep.
Whoa, no, that's
Well,
right. I lied. I'm a
Drayton
liar. Folks, I'm tired.
Drayton literally drove in the first one.
Folks, I'm tired. All right, I work nights. Haven't slept yet. Give me a break. All
This was
right.
the first time he's seen the sun. You know,
All
all
right.
right.
Your turn.
All right, this is an easier one. What is the name of the chainsaw store?
The chainsaw store? Is it the chainsaw store?
No.
Oh my god!
It is Cut Right Chainsaws.
It's what?
Cut Right, R-I-T-E, Chainsaws.
You know, I was funny because I was going to watch it again and like write that down because I felt like that was going to be a question. Well, you know what? What was the secret ingredient to Drayton's chili?
The meat.
The meat. You don't skip
We
on
don't
the meat.
skimp on the meat.
I took it so easy.
I know, and I'm writing down some hard.
I remember this.
I skipped one of the harder ones. I have 6 questions down here. I'm gonna skip this one.
I'm. You know what? I'm remember this next quiz.
All right. What song played on the radio right before the attack on the bridge of Buzz and Rick?
Oingo Boingo's No One Lives Forever.
Like literally right before?
Goo Goo Muck.
Yep, you got it right.
There was only
The
two.
Cramps.
There was only 2 like songs in there that was like licensed, so I was like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
had
so
to
you
have
got
been
that
one
one
or the
right.
other. Yay! All right, I got one, so I'm not a complete failure.
You got one. All right, my turn.
Okay, your turn. Where was Chop Top in the first movie?
He was in Vietnam, wasn't he?
He was in Vietnam.
All right, my turn.
He had the flashbacks.
Non-flashbacks. What movie poster did this movie copy the exact setup for?
The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, you got another one.
Yay! Go me.
All right. You have one more?
I have one more. What was the name of the amusement park that the family lived in?
That was one of my questions.
Yeah.
Texas Battleland.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
I got a bonus question. Difficult
All right.
one.
Okay, hit me.
What is the hotel number of like the room that Lefty stayed in? I'm not even gonna try.
I have no idea.
323.
323. All right, you hit me hard on that one. I'll remember that next quiz.
All right.
But you got 100 on my quiz.
100 and 100.
What did I get, like a 20? Or I got a 40?
Yeah, you got 2 right. Wait,
I got
no.
a 40.
You got a 40, yeah.
I got a 40.
Right, so now that we got the quiz done, how many chili bowls would you give this movie?
Chili bowls? You want to
Out
hop
of
into
5.
the chili bowls? You don't want to figure out who you would marry or kill or even
I forgot about this section. I didn't know we were
bone?
doing it.
Yes,
Who
we're
I
going.
would-
This is the probably we'll switch it up next one, but we'll stick with the Mary Effer kill,
Yeah.
but we'll say
Okay.
bone
So,
because I know
bone.
you don't like using profanity.
What's your profanity?
Right.
All right. So, again, I'm killing Drayton.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
This is not where we
Absolutely sure.
differ. This might be where we differ. Okay,
Oh, you're switching it up.
I'll let you go ahead and list off your people. So you would marry Drayton, or no, you would kill Drayton.
Kill Drayton. As much as I love Chop Top, I'm not gonna marry him. I'm boning Chop Top, and I'm marrying Leatherface.
Okay.
All right, let's hear how you differ, because we agreed last time.
So, I'm gonna kill Chop Top.
Whoa!
I just couldn't be around him all the time. He's just on 24/7. So energetic. I got a nap, bruh, while you're jumping around with your brother.
He's energetic, and you wouldn't bone?
No. Did you see Leatherface's thrusts?
Oh,
doing
he
it the
did
whole
have some good
movie.
chainsaw thrust.
He just goes, nah! I mean,
He did have some good chainsaw thrust.
he was going so fast, it lasts like a minute, and then he's probably done.
Just a minute.
A minute
That's
and
it.
done. All right, and I probably married Drayton, because Drayton was spitting facts the whole movie about taxes, about...
You're blowing my mind right now. You're marrying Drayton?
In this movie, he was like...
He can't spell sex.
He...
SCEX.
See, he don't even know what it is anyway.
Man.
He knows how to cook, though. He cooked chili.
All right, if you're cool with maybe finding a tooth in your chili.
Well, at least I know I'll be financially sound. He was spitting some facts about taxes and all kinds of stuff.
He did pull a wad of cash out of his pocket towards the end.
I'm just saying, he's a chili contest winner. Like, he's got the cash.
He's got some cash. I'll give him that.
Okay, so that's how we differed on that. So how, again, we could go with how many chili bowls out of 5 would you give this?
Yeah, how many chili bowls out of 5 would you give this? I know you're not a fan of this movie, so I'm eager to hear what.
After watching it 3 or 4 times for this, I was at a 2 when I first started. I'm gonna give it a 2 and a scoop.
It got an extra scoop?
It got an extra scoop because I didn't realize how Drayton was so animated at the end of the movie.
So Drayton is your full extra scoop.
He's the full extra scoop, and I'll give it a little bit more credit. I'll give it 3 bowls of chili because I could feel this is a good background movie. This ain't a movie I'd walk past and be like, oh, not this again, and turn it off. I'd see it on TV. I'd catch a couple clips of it, but I'd be doing stuff in the background. So I give it 3 full bowls of chili.
All right. Well, it gets the whole pot of chili for me.
The whole pot of chili, all 5 bowls, huh?
All 5 bowls.
And cheese on top and all, crackers and everything.
Cheese on top, tooth in the bowl. It gets all of it. Well,
that's how we rate the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. We have no emails this time. Don't forget, folks, you can email us at horrorhomework13@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts on the next movie we're going to be doing. That's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which is titled Leatherface. So Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. That's what we'll be watching next time. So just, if you want to send us an email saying what you think about the movie, if you've seen it, if you want to see it, if you're going to see it, if you have seen it and you want to tell us your review, email us and let us know, and we'll read it in our next show.
And also let us know if you would date Bubba based on his dating profile. Let us know if you'd swipe on him.
Yes, let us know. I'll post that right here too.
Yeah, we need to know who out there would be with Bubba.
That's right. I mean,
after this movie, he needs somebody.
I mean, you've seen his moves. That's got to do something
dance,
for you.
He can hump with a chainsaw. I mean, what else could you ask for?
Well, you can also find us on TikTok. We got a TikTok. Have you uploaded any TikToks on the new TikTok?
I have not, but we might take some good clips from this episode and upload them.
Yes, that'd be a good idea. So, that was everything we have for y'all today. We'll be uploading every 2 weeks. This video took a little bit to get out because I'm starting to mess around with some editing software and try to get the handle on some things, cut some dead air out. Hopefully that will shorten some of the videos. I know my wife thought the The last video was a little bit too long, so maybe I can help shorten some things and make it a little bit more entertaining. Well, until next time, folks.
Yep. See you later, Bubba lovers.